Okay, welcome back to DMA Brandmasters, where the secrets of marketing geniuses are just a play button away. I'm Preeti Hoon, ready to unravel the mysteries of marketing in the financial world. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe because you won't want to miss a single revelation. In today's episode, we are diving into the high stakes game of IPL versus elections media spends through the lens of the financial sector. And who better to guide us through this maze than Alok Arya, the visionary CMO of Equentis Wealth Advisory, who's not just playing the game but changing the rules. Alok, a celebrated DMA trailblazer, has cracked the code on engaging audiences in the complex world of finance, turning the mundane into the extraordinary. Today, he shares his playbook on navigating the tumultuous waters of advertising during the IPL and elections with a sprinkle of stock market wisdom. So, tighten your seatbelts as we embark on a journey to decode the strategies that make Equentis stand out in the crowded financial marketplace during these blockbuster events such as IPL and elections. Will the stock market swing in favor of IPL ads or election campaigns? Well, let's find out from Alok himself. Hi, Alok.
Hi, Preeti.
So,
Thank you for that decorated introduction. I mean, I'm humbled, honorably, and really honored with that introduction. And yes, I mean, happy to contribute in whatever way I could.
glad you are. Well, let's jump on straight to the strategic media allocation in financial sector. Considering the unique customer base of Equentis Wealth Advisory, how do you balance your media spend between digital and traditional platforms for maximum impact during the IPL and general elections? And are these are there specific channels that have proven more effective in the financial sector?
Sure. So I'll answer the question in two parts. First talking about these momentous occasions, which are actually celebrated with all pomp and show in India, especially the elections, and we are seeing that the past two terms there has been a lot of positivity in the country. So this year also, looks in line with the positive, I would say, outlook that the entire country has. And fortunately, we are at a position wherein India, in all fronts, is looking supremely bullish, right? And I'm not only talking about markets, but generally, the
Mm-hmm.
country is progressing in leaps and bounds. So elections this year definitely will draw a lot of attention from across. Same as IPL. I mean, cricket it's the second religion of all Indians. It's the equalizer. People just don't enjoy the game of cricket, but they have an emotional connect, which is very, very strong and goes beyond geographies, economic segments, etc. So both these occasions, are really, really big when it comes to having your brand out there and making sure that, you are seen at the right spot and, in front of the right audience. Yes, when it comes to our category, the investment advisory as such that we are in, we are a SEBI-registered investment advisor, and we take a lot of pride that we are one of the biggest in this not so established category. Having said that, there are brokers, who will have their play and, their share of voice. But, we are slightly different. So when I say slightly different, we actually advise, our clients on, what to buy, when to buy, when to sell, when to X. So it's highly, highly scientific. And there's a very, very diligent research team of analysts with a lot of pedigree that we have, and they do all the hard work from checking the fundamentals to making sure that the recommendations that they give after a lot of sweat
Okay.
and blood are in line with the market sentiment. So when it comes to us, any occasion that sort of draws positivity in the country and the market see rise, it becomes even more critical to go out and let the consumers know that this is your time. If you haven't begun your journey, you should now, because
Sure.
if you look at the last 25 years, right, markets, be it COVID that was really, really bothering us 3 years back, 4 years back, or be it any other calamity, be it any other war. But the markets, if you look at 25 years, the trajectory has been upwards, and it will continue to be, because growth is
Okay.
the story for India. And India is actually in a build mode, if you ask me, right? India is in a
Hmm.
build mode. We see India very, very powerful in the next, I would say, 5 years. Why I talk about 10 years? So we as a
Okay.
category become highly active. Our media investments go, high as compared to, our average month-on-month spends. Having said that, there's a lot of media clout also, especially
Hmm.
in the traditional media. You will see a lot of print, TV, and the news genre, especially in the TV being used by a lot of political parties, and of course IPL has its own magic. So we plan our media in a way that we are able to maximize our reach. Having said that, we are also very very I would say conscious of our efficiency and effectiveness. So mainline because during IPL and elections, the media is actually pretty expensive as compared to other times of the year.
Right.
So we ensure that we are seen at the right spots. Having said that, we optimize in a way that our reach is not compromised and digital becomes the go-to medium. When I say digital becomes the go-to medium, it's not just bottom of the funnel, which is actually talking to people who are in the market looking for a service like us, but also demand gen, which is the top funnel, and hence we look for revenues wherein the relevant audience that we want to speak to is spending a lot of time. Yeah, right?
Okay.
Be it money control, or be it say Times of India for that instance. People today spend a lot of time on mobile devices, and almost I was reading some numbers, and almost we actually touch our phones over like 300 times in a day, knowingly,
Wow.
unknowingly. So the what I'm trying to tell you is that if we are not active on digital, we'll not be able to have that share of voice and stickiness that we are wanting to. And hence, we take again a lot of pride in saying that we are actually a digital first company, right?
Okay.
A big portion of our spends currently are
Sure.
in digital. Having said that, next couple of months, we are planning a big bang launch. We are on the journey to become a unicorn in the next 18 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the big bang will definitely, we will have our investments in the traditional media, be it print or TV. We'll not shy away. We actually want to establish this category of investment advisors in India, be the leader out there, because we see a lot of opportunity, and when you talk about numbers, with almost, I think the DMAT accounts would be now close to 12, 13 crore, if I'm not wrong. Still the participation in markets is very, very low as compared to, say, US, which is almost at a 50-55% participation.
Okay, so Alok, when you say you're digital first, I'm guessing that you are focusing on it basis numbers. What about the credibility part when it comes to media? I think print sort of races ahead of digital in terms of credibility and that kind of impression on people's mind, which is long lasting. Do you agree?
Yes, I completely agree. And while some people and some media experts have been telling me that print is going down, but I am of the opinion that print is here to stay.
Yeah.
Print is a body language that a brand sort of gives. Like absolutely, you are bang on credibility, trust, and that scale, right? I mean, look at it,
Hmm.
right? We are all consumers at the end of the day. I mean, if Amazon is doing, say the biggest sale that they do, or Flipkart is doing their big billion days, etc., they don't shy away from doing a jacket in Times of India, for
Yeah,
example, right? There
yeah.
is You can't be more digital first than an Amazon or Flipkart. But they don't ignore that space, because
Yes.
in India, ultimately, we say that touch and feel still matters a lot. And until say maybe 7-8 years back, print was majorly sort of consumed to advertise across categories. Having said
Hmm.
that, with the advent and with the increased adoption of digital, I'm sure digital has grown at a much faster pace. But print definitely is here to stay, and it adds on to the brand credibility in a bigger manner.
Okay, so coming to content innovation for financial services, you often require a delicate balance of information and engagement. What innovative content strategies are you employing to stand out in the cluttered media landscape during these peak advertising periods?
No, this is a very good question, and I'm glad that such forums are now also thinking about content, thinking about being innovative. So for us as an organization, like I said, we while we want to build this category, it's very important that we stay on the top of our I would say content game. Now, some I'll not call them innovation, but I think across categories and across businesses, what brands are trying to do is to develop one thing, which is trust, right? Brand is a brand because customers trust develops over a period of time, but that
Right.
trust develops only when you start speaking to the consumer when he or she expects you to be there, right? And not necessarily only when you want to speak to the consumer. So it's a conversation. It cannot be a monologue, right? So I think for us, we are focusing big time in something that we call as micro moment marketing. When I say micro moment marketing, it's as simple as the solution that we provide to our consumers is long-term wealth creation, of course, with our expert guidance. But now look at it from a consumer's lens, okay? What's in for the consumer? What will be the micro moments in the consumer's life when she actually thinks of Equentis as a wealth advisor, right?
Hmm.
Maybe, when starting her first job, she would have some disposable income which she would want, to grow rather than to save, right? There's a difference between saving and growing money. So that's one micro moment that we bank on. Second micro moment, when people are in their mid 30s or early 40s and they're having kids, who are growing up, our customer starts to think of securing their future. They start of thinking about their education, higher education, etc., and hence they look for revenues to grow their money, and hence that becomes our second key micro moment that we ensure that we constantly keep narrating and engaging with the consumer on that. The third one is when people have spent time say 10, 15 years in the job. There's always this play in people's head that, okay, after 55 or maybe 50, I want to have a slightly slow life and maybe have an or enjoy an early retirement. So early retirement is the third micro moment that works wonders for us. So all our communication, all our activation engagement is tailored around these three cohorts and these three micro moments, and hence it's not just telling consumers, okay, subscribe for my advisory service, subscribe for my advisory service, but
Hmm.
trustingly, being a part of these micro moments and making them realize that we are the ones that will help you, achieve all these life goals that you envisage to. So that's the,
Sure.
I think, I would say, unique way that we are looking at it. Also, we're focusing a lot on storytelling. Now,
Hmm.
when I say storytelling, it's not about just the category that we are in, but generally, I mean, if you look at it, in the past 3 4 years, there are brands that have been built on the base of storytelling. FinShots is one brand. I don't know if you consume it, but the way they narrate, the stories of different businesses, and people consume them. Of course, it gives
Sure.
them education, knowledge, empowerment. So storytelling is a big manner. We don't look at uh, hard business metrics while we do storytelling activities. We look at soft KPIs like engagement, time spent, how is that reducing the bounce rate on our website, so on and so forth. The
Okay.
hard KPIs of performance we keep restricted to the three cohorts and micro moments that I told you, through
Yeah.
which we get the users.
So, how do you tailor your advertising strategies to engage diverse audience segments, particularly those making significant financial decisions during the IPL and general elections?
See, like I said, IPL and general elections are occasions wherein people spend a lot of time on, say, TV or their mobile phone, consuming a lot of information, right? So, like I said, micro moments when it's election, we generally see that markets do well because,
Yeah.
there's a positive sentiment. So, how do you be relevant at that time in time? So, we can't just say that, okay, hey, elections are going on and subscribe to Equentis. No, maybe tailor our communications and tell our consumer that India is as bullish as what US was 5 years back. So that suddenly hits the consumer. So our media strategy is very clear: be relevant, be
Mm-hmm.
topical, have the right to tell the story. Same is the story with IPL. Like we will be having a big play, on unrealistic expectations. Say example, IPL. What is it about? It's about consistency, right? You win one game, you lose another. You win third, you lose another, and then you go towards the final. So what, say example, how we communicate is that it doesn't matter. Small wins or small loses doesn't matter. Investment is about long term strategy, and you
Okay.
should look at your investments from a long term. So you become relevant. Suddenly, you become relevant to the occasion. So our strategy is very clear. We tailor our communication basis the event,
Okay.
basis the flavor of the country, and what the people are expecting.
Okay. And how do you measure success in terms of customer engagement and conversion?
So conversions is very clear. I mean, we have a robust tracking mechanism. Conversions we track very, very closely. Starting, how many people actually were actually interested in our product or service post our pitch, right? So when we get, say example, someone to register, someone who's interested in our service, he or she will drop in her details, and then we get back to our sales team gets back, and then we qualify from him or her being a workable customer going to a pitched customer, meaning we have told all the product services. Then we track the same month conversion, which is actually a conversion from leads to subscription. And then we from there on we track the LTV of the consumer, because in our business it's a slightly higher involvement business. So it doesn't necessarily mean that, say example, if you have registered to inquire more about our services, say in February 24, you might necessarily not convert in February 24, but you might convert in March or April and subsequent months, because you will also do your research. So our robust, we track these metrics that I told you, same month conversion, our LTV, very, very closely on a weekly, rather on a daily basis. From an engagement perspective, like I said, our click-through rates is the first metric. If our communication is doing well, our click-through rates will definitely reflect that as compared to the average click-throughs that we get. And then
Mm-hmm.
when someone lands on our website, if the
Okay.
stickiness and the engagement is high, the time spent will be higher than the average of time spent during that entire month or the tenure that we are comparing it with. And of course, the other metric is bounce rate, which we very, very carefully measure, because more the time customer spends on your assets, digital assets, say a website or an app, more it signifies the stickiness.
Okay, so can you discuss more on the matrix and tools you use to measure the ROI of your advertising investments during these significant events like IPL and general elections? And how do these matrix differ from standard financial service marketing campaigns?
All right. So I think the key, or I mean, the single metric, which is the North Star for us, is the CAC, which is the customer acquisition cost. Now,
Okay.
while in these prime times of when media is slightly more expensive and, there's a lot of clutter, especially during IPL and general elections, the CAC is slightly higher, definitely, because of media being expensive. So, the CAC is customer acquisition cost. So, because it's a function of, the media available and, how much does the platform charge you for a click and an impression at that point in time. So, the conversions, we clearly, our North Star is CAC. We keep a very, very close eye on how our CAC is moving. We know the trend that, okay, during the prime occasions, the CAC sort of bloats by almost 15-20%. That's okay. We figure that in our annual operating plans. As compared to normal months, the engagement rates also take slightly go down. Why? Because people are more interested in what's happening around rather than maybe paying attention to, okay, what you are trying to say. And that's true for all brands. And hence, as a company, we don't try and over push ourselves during that period, because we know that the consumer is already occupied mentally with a
Hmm.
lot of other things, like or he or she is in a mood to watch an IPL match, and we can't expect him or her to convert. So we are very, very, I would say, clear that, okay, during that time, we need not be going overboard and, wasting our media monies. In a way, be more efficient and be more effective. Speak to the relevant audience at the right time.
So, how do you balance brand building activities with performance marketing in your overall advertising strategy, especially during, as we are discussing IPL and in elections? Is there a shift in focus given the financial advisory context?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Preeti, but it's not only restricted to financial advisory as a category, but across all categories. I've worked in retail, I've worked in pharma, consumer products, real estate. And I can tell you that during these prime occasions, typically bottom of the funnel activities, which is hardcore conversion and performance, the efforts go slightly down, and it's more on the top funnel brand awareness and consideration. Because like I said, the customer mindset and the clout at that point in time is more about what's happening in and around. Cricket is very high involvement, and then elections too. So the customer slightly sort of is the association, be it you're buying any product or service. So that's across categories, and hence, our sort of efforts also are primarily on awareness and consideration, and not too much on hardcore performance.
Okay, so what about influencer and celebrity partnerships? I mean, to your advertising strategy, what kind of role do they play, and like how do you quantify their impact in the financial sector?
See, off late, there has been a lot of, I would say, chatter around the influencer and the key opinion leaders, if you were to say. Unfortunately, our category is very, very tightly, regulated, and its
Yes.
stringent measures are there by defined by SEBI. So, if I were to give you an example, we can't have anyone who has upwards of 1 million followers. See, I mean, that itself defines that, okay, you are cutting away the tier one influencers or celebrities or TV stars. And it's as sharply defined as you can't have a TV star, you can't have a sports person, you can't have a musician, etc., etc. Because of
Yeah.
late, there have been a lot of instances wherein random people have given advices on YouTube through some frivolous YouTube channels, etc., etc.
Right.
So we are a highly compliant, 100% compliant organization, and SEBI
Okay.
sees us in that light, and hence we typically stay away from using any such influencer who might not have the right understanding of the financial world. Having said that, also we understand that there are certain genuine, I would say, key opinion leaders who have the understanding of the finance space and are qualified. And because if you are not SEBI registered, you cannot give an investment advice actually. So if we see that there is a merit in the brand value, merit and match in the brand values of the individual and the brand, then we don't shy
Mhm.
away. And of course, we'll be launching the brand soon. Like I said, in all pomp and show, we will make use of some good key opinion leaders, more from not only telling that okay, subscription to Equentis is a must, but advocating the need of long-term investments, advocating the need of having an investment advisor, because you cannot take those informed decisions on your own, because all of us are experts in our fields, but this is a highly scientific, I would say,
Yes.
space. You need to be aware of the risks, you need to be aware of company fundamentals, company growth numbers, and all of us are not inclined towards all of this, right?
So
I mean,
basically, you won't have Shah Rukh Khan or Akshay Kumar selling your
cannot,
service.
we
Yeah.
cannot have. We
Okay.
cannot have, by definition, we cannot have. And I think we don't feel the need, because I feel that, Shah Rukh Khan saying, okay, buy an investment advisory service, it just doesn't go down well, right?
Yeah.
Other than that, I think Rachna Ranade would be a better face if you were to call me, but unfortunately, she has, upwards of 1 million followers. So SEBI would, not give that a nod as well. Having said that, our
Yeah.
own research, right, which has the pedigree, who are qualified, in a way, they can give advice. I think we are taking this narrative of influencers seriously, but we are trying
Okay.
to, I would say, flip the way in which we look at. We believe that all our research team, all our employees could be our brand protagonists, right? There is a story in that, right? I mean, if someone who joined Equentis this, and thereby his investment journey began in a way, our customers
Hmm.
are protagonists or
Sure.
influencers.
So you believe
We
more
believe
in
that,
testimonials than advertising.
sorry?
So you believe more in testimonials than advertising per se. You would
Yeah,
rather
because
have
see,
real people talk real than have, random
100%, 100%. I think we
hmm.
believe that someone who has benefited from our services will definitely be a far more bigger influencer and protagonist for our brand as
Okay.
compared to someone who will be, having a vested interest of maybe some commercial arrangement with any organization to, advertise. But see,
Okay.
advertisement is different, testimonial is different. But what I'm trying to say that for us, of course, SEBI, has tightened the news. That's number one. Second, influencers for us in true sense are our customers, right? Who have been associated from us, say since 10 years or even more than that. Even when we actually become big, from the very beginning. So they have a lot of merit and people believability will be far more higher.
Okay. So what factors influence your decision to sponsor broadcast IPs during these events, and how do you assess the value they bring to your brand, especially within the wealth and advisory and investment services market per se?
Yeah, it's a good question again. There are three ways to look at it. One, any event or association shouldn't be for the sake of it, right? We believe that if we are going out and sponsoring an event, we should have the right to be there. I mean, suddenly, if a music festival is happening and Equentis is there, it's slightly forceful, right? However, if there is, a forum or an event that the organization of India is doing, say example, or FICCI is doing, we definitely would want our association to be seen, with the right set of people that we would want to be seen. That's number one. Number two, we are in a very specific space, right? We want to be, we are we want people to believe that we are the experts in advisory. So anything and everything, any event or sponsorship wherein we get to meet people who are actually looking for advisory or services or to start their wealth creation journey becomes our go-to. Right? There was this, just to give you an example, there was this event that IIT Bombay had approached us for, wherein they were having a sort of an innovation sort of an event, and they were calling all IITians and their fellow alumni, etc. Of course, we couldn't go ahead with that due to XYZ reasons, but that gave us a lot of confidence that okay, these are typically the crowd or people that will be there. They'll have a lot of intelligence already that okay, what investments, how are they done. So when we associate with some such names of equal repute and expert, I would say, stature, it becomes far more credible. So yes, we
Sure.
are active participating.
Okay, and based on current trends, what are your predictions for the future of advertising in the context of major events like the IPL and general elections, and specifically for the financial services industry?
So elections, definitely, because they have direct association to, like I said, markets moving in a particular direction. There's a lot of promise by political parties on how will, the economy move, etc.,
Yeah,
etc., which industry will flourish. So elections definitely become, of prime importance. And, same is with, say, budget. When the budget comes, people any which ways are talking about okay, kya mehenga hua, kya sasta hua, and hence there the conversation of money and how do we want to grow money becomes critical. So I think we are very very optimistic about all these occasions, and like I said, we focus primarily on top of the mind brand awareness and consideration, so that when the high decibel noise around these bigger occasions sort of starts to settle down, and if we have made the dent in awareness and consideration, our conversion funnel looks greener and healthy. So I think these are very, very important. And for all BFSI players, including ourselves, or maybe banks or insurance players, it's imperative that they have their share of voice, whatever little it may be, depending on the size of the organization, but they can't ignore.
Okay, and my last question to you is what are the biggest challenges and opportunities you foresee in advertising for the upcoming IPL and election seasons? And how is Equentis Wealth Advisory preparing to tackle them? And are there unique considerations for the financial services industry in navigating these events?
So, um, I'll start with the opportunities first. Of course, like I said, these big events draw a lot of positivity and, give a lot of, I would say, confidence to the entire country that, okay, development is on and we look bullish, etc., etc. Markets are flourishing. We are going to become a $10 trillion economy very soon, and so on and so forth. It's a big, big opportunity. I mean, definitely, like I said, only around 7-8% of our population currently participates in the market as compared to 50-55% of the US. And the irony is that they are a spending economy and we are a savings economy. Still, we just are 7% investing, and they are 55%, right? So rather upwards of 55%. So it's a huge, huge opportunity. I mean, the scale is pretty big. The
What do you
markets
think is the
are
major
pretty,
reason for that?
for the low participation here.
Yes,
I think the major reason is that people don't know what to do and how to do. That's precisely the reason that we feel that there is
why
a
you
big
exist?
we exist for, right? Investment advisory is essentially, if I talk to you, Preeti, candidly, I'm sure you'll be able to tell me that, look, honestly, either I don't have time to read about all these companies, where should I invest? Or I don't know what to do. And let me give you the topmost
Yes,
reason. I'm
that is
scared to
true.
lose,
Yeah,
you
of
know,
course, 100%.
because,
Especially
in
after
India,
Corona, I think your challenge must be bigger to educate
I think it
people,
has
to make
gotten
them
better.
understand.
Yeah, it
Oh,
has gotten better because
okay.
well, in Corona, a lot of people tried their hands in the market on their own. They burned their fingers. And then when they come to us and when we have this knowledge first approach, wherein first we explain to them that, okay, whether you subscribe with us or someone else, that's your choice. But please understand that there is only one way to invest in the market, which is long term. There is no
Hmm.
other way. If you feel that,
Okay.
okay, you will invest in something today and after 3 months you will sort of make X amount of profit.
Yeah,
That's not going to
yeah,
happen. You're going to lose
yeah.
money.
Okay.
The only people who created wealth through the stock market are people who have had a decadal view, as we call it, right? If you believe in a business, say example, that travel is sort of really, really increasing and people are wanting to travel more, right? And say you know a couple of good companies which are into travel, be it hotels or be it travel booking. You believe in it, invest in it, stay invested for maybe 5 years, 7, at least have a 5 year horizon, and then look at the results. Compounding,
Sure.
the magic happens there. So that's how you grow. So like I said, these occasions, of course, are of prime importance, and we have to be out there, ensuring that we have our, brand awareness there and consideration there. Along with the opportunities also comes the challenges. Like I said, the first challenge, Preeti, at least for our category, is that there is a lot of unorganized clutter. When I say
Hmm.
unorganized clutter, find hundreds of YouTube random channels, thousands of Telegram channels, hundreds of groups, WhatsApp groups on which random advice keeps floating. People call them tips,
Yeah.
right? Okay, buy this, sell this is a good price.
Hack.
And these are dangerous. So our
Yeah.
request to all customers, and that's what SEBI has been shouting at the top of their voices, is that please stay away, don't take any unsolicited tips. Please ensure that you're dealing with professionals, ensure that they have a pedigree, they understand the business, they understand the markets,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, it's your hard-earned money. So our biggest challenge
True.
is that while of course internet has opened up a lot of avenues for customers to look at and learn from, having said that, there is a difference between information and knowledge. Currently
Hmm.
people are mixing between information and knowledge, right? I mean,
Correct. Correct.
YouTube, some solicited and credible sources, of course they give you knowledge, but 90% of them is just information which has no
Yes,
credibility.
absolutely. Yeah. They're only
So
videos, marketed videos. That's it.
news, and of course, the story, the narration is in such a dramatic manner that people fall into that
Yeah,
trap. And
absolutely. Yeah. That's pretty much
90%
happening
of
with
people,
every
honest,
industry these days.
Yeah, so our biggest challenge is this unorganized sort of clout. Having said that, I think SEBI is doing a fabulous job.
Yes.
I'm sure you would know in the recent times there were some heavy slaps of fine that were given to these unsolicited players and advisors, and I think it's good. These heavy fines will make sure that they don't turn this is actually a scam and robbing people in daylight, right? So I think that's been controlled pretty well by SEBI now. The other challenge is that, like I said, the category doesn't exist today. Okay, people don't believe that okay they need an advice to invest because everybody thinks that they
Oh,
know it all. Yeah, so people believe
yeah,
okay, my uncle knows it or my mama knows it or my chacha knows it. I mean, with all due respect, of course, some of the family members would have invested some point in time. But I think it's a highly, highly scientific space. We will have to, and there's nothing wrong about people not believing it. I feel that
hmm,
the category doesn't exist because no one took it seriously. If you look at banking as a space, say for example, 20 years back, banks were restricted to SBI, PNB, Bank of Baroda, right?
hmm,
Would see your parents, you would see your grandparents only going to a PNB or SBI because only they existed. That's when HDFC came, right? 20, 25 years back, and look at what they have made of the ecosystem. They made banking so easy. So we want to
right.
be that space wherein we own the category and then we create an ecosystem. Today, HDFC doesn't only do banking. In fact, savings account and FDs may be a smaller part, but look at the ecosystem, right? From insurance to cards
Mutual
to credit
funds.
cards,
Correct.
everything. It's created
Yeah, yeah.
ecosystem. So it's created banking as a category, if you ask me
Hmm.
personally. People have become far more confident and comfortable. So that's what we are looking at. That's another big opportunity and challenge
Okay.
in hand that goes for us.
Okay. Sure. Thank you so much, Alok, for joining us. And that's a wrap on an episode that was enlightening as it was thrilling. A huge thank you, Alok, again for sharing your insider insights and strategies that prove even the world of numbers can have its moments of glamour and suspense. Alok, your journey from a trailblazer to a master strategist has been nothing short of inspirational. To our viewers, if you have ever wondered how the high octane worlds of IPL elections and financial world collide and in the marketing arena, I hope today's episode has shed some light on that enigma. Remember, in the world of finance and marketing, every move counts, and staying ahead means playing the long game. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to DMA Brandmasters for more behind the scenes insights from the wizards of the marketing world. This is Preeti Hoon signing off, but the quest for uncovering and next big marketing strategy continues. Stay curious, stay invested, and keep watching.